We're going to do English Rotary or sleeping finger and
That woke you up if you were not previously awake. Happy St. Patrick's Day and welcome to the March 17, 2023 meeting of the Rotary Club of Beavercreek. I want to start out by thanking our greeters, Beth Handworker and Bob Kachoy. Thanks to Eric Marcus for doing Ticketmaster duties, Pete Bales, Mark Weinstein, and Mike Zwick for our great programs, including today's. And we thank Jim Gundel for handling the website. I would ask Denny Jarvie to come forward for the invocation.
Well, good afternoon and a happy St. Patty's Day to you. Would you join me in prayer? Oh, Holy Creator, thank you for friends, good and fun, and good fun and fellowship, especially the fellowship at Rotary that we give our sincere thanks. May these tokens of our bounty nourish our physical bodies in preparation for the challenges that are ours in Rotary. Always keep in mind of the needs of others and keep us always attuned to our calling in Rotary. We ask these in your eternal name. Amen.
Thank you, Denny. All right, members report. Mr. Jim Jenkins.
All right, so we have. So we have, we're at 43%, and then we have numerous guests today. Rick, you want to introduce your guests?
Yeah, my much better half back, I think most everyone knows that. And this, two folks that I met at the Blue Star event for military families about a month ago, right? Woody, who's a veteran and served over in the desert a couple times, works for First Command now, and his lovely wife Antoinette, who just so by the way, when I was there, she captured me and said that Senate Bill 7, which is my #1 bill that I got through, took a lot of time and reciprocity. She actually benefited when they moved here. She got her social work license, and she could work right away. They paid all the fees, just like we're trying to do to make life easier for military families and spouses. So I'm happy to have you here today.
Oh, and then I have my wife Amanda here today.
That's fine.
Hi.
Yes.
We have a little guest stumbling through across the back as a prisoner of momentum. And Elizabeth Cusack, you have a guest?
Teach in service, but she thinks it's because it's St. Patty's Day.
There is a saint in it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So Don Adams, would you come forward and give us the Sergeant at Arms report?
Yes, sir.
It's like that's a standing ovation for this year.
It is getting closer to that. Today is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Several of us here are in green. That's good. Is this on? It is. It's also Campfire Girls Day. Corned beef and cabbage day, as evidenced by the meal. National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence. Red Nose Day. St. Patrick's Day. Submarine Day. I'm not sure if that's the sandwich or the boat. And World Sleep Day. And based on what I talked, a couple of conversations I had today, everybody was sleeping in this morning. So it's also Brain Awareness Week. I think that's a week that we have to check and see if we do have brains. I don't know what that means. National Bubblegum Week. National Sleep Awareness Week. And Turkey Vultures Return to the Living sign. I'm not sure what that means. On this date in history, in 1762, was the first St. Patrick's Day parade in New York City.
In 1845, the rubber band was patented by Stephen Perry of London. And in 1854, the first parkland purchased by a U.S. city was in Worcester, Massachusetts. In 1871, the National Association of Professional Baseball Players was organized. And in 1930, construction began on the Empire State Building. At that time, the world's tallest skyscrapers with 100+ stories, but that's dwarfed now by what's out there. And in 1944, Mount Vesuvius in Italy erupted after months of volcanic unrest. Oh. In 2019, the PGA Players Championship TPC at Sawgrass, Rory McIlroy won the biggest check in golf at $2.25 million. That was dwarfed last week by Scotty Scheffler. He won $4.25 million for one weekend. In fact, Scotty Scheffler in 5 events this year has earned more than Jack Nicklaus did his whole career. Times have changed considerably in golf. Here in the club, we have some birthdays. Ron Folkerth was the 6th of March. Shannon Graham, he's not here today. That's right, he's at Rilo. Was the 19th of March. Jonathan Hebrink was 18th of March. Spouse's birthdays, Amanda Jenkins was Wednesday. And which anniversary?
Huh?
You said 30. Which anniversary there? And wedding anniversary, Tony Overholzer and her husband Walt. Did you know there's a toilet museum? It's in New Delhi. It's the Saluba International Museum of Toilets. It features a rare collection that details the historic evolution of toilets from 2500 BC. And you can even sit upon one from Austria that's shaped like a lion. And there's been 3 presidents that have won Grammys over the years. It's usually in the best spoken word category. President Jimmy Carter won 3, Bill Clinton won 2, and Barack Obama won 2. And we always think of Viking men as being fighters, but they also wore makeup. They were some of the toughest men in history books. However, they cared about their appearance enough that they would make up makeup was part of their routine every day. There was also a jockey that once won a race after he had died. He suffered a heart attack while riding during the middle of the race and hung on to the end and still won. Yeah, that's what it's talking about. Couple more of these stupid laws that are out there. In Boise, Idaho, residents may not fish from a giraffe's back. In Idaho Falls, Idaho, if you're 88 years old or older, it's illegal to ride your motorcycle. And it's illegal for a man to give his sweetheart a box of candy weighing less than 50 pounds. Sweetheart of candy. In Illinois, the state law mandates that all bachelors should be called master, not Mr., when addressed by their female counterparts. I'm sure that goes over really well. And according to the state law in Illinois, it is illegal to speak English. The official recognized language is American. And wheelbarrows with for sale signs may not be chained to a tree. A man with a mustache may not kiss a woman. All right, there. What's the difference between an actuary and an accountant? An actuary does much the same thing as an accountant, but lacks the accountant's bright and vivacious personality. A friend of mine recently announced that he was going to marry a widow. A member of the group indicated he would not like being the second husband of the widow. My friend said, I'd rather be the second husband of a widow than the first. There was a couple had little boys 8 and 10 who were excessively mischievous. The two were always getting into trouble, and their parents could be confident that if any mischief occurred, it was their 2 young sons that were involved in some capacity. The parents were at their wits' end, so they didn't know what to do about their son's behavior. The parents heard about a clergyman in town who had been successful in disciplining children in the past, so they contacted him, and he agreed to give it his best shot. He asked to see the boys individually, and so the 8-year-old was sent to meet him first. The clergyman sat the boy down and asked him sternly, "Where is God?" The boy made no response, so the clergyman repeated the question and said, "Where is God?" Again, the boy made no attempt to answer, so the clergyman raised his voice even more and shook his finger in the boy's face. "Where is God?" At that point, the boy bolted out of the room, ran directly home, slammed himself in his closet. His older brother followed him into the closet and said, "What happened?" The younger brother said, "We're in big trouble this time. God's missing and they think we did it." Cerner was given the job of painting the white lines down the middle of the highway. On his first day, he painted 6 miles. The next day, 3 miles. The following day, less than a mile. Then the foreman asked Sarter, "Why do you keep painting less each day?" He replied, "I just can't do any better. Each day I just keep getting further and further away from the paint can." Some differences between men and women. A man will pay $2 for a $1 item he wants. A woman will pay $1 for a $2 item she doesn't want.